doing, get better at that thing that you love doing, and be open to learning, be open to relearn, be open to unlearn. The most difficult of these three, not learning, it's not relearning, it's unlearning. They say that no knowledge is wasted, but there are some knowledge that you need to unlearn in order to, and that's the most difficult. Just like saying, I taught you how ABCD should be said, and somebody is coming to teach you how it is said somehow, just because it's not the perspective that you know, it becomes a bit of a conflict. And that is how, like, probably the school system or the way the school system is in Nigeria, it teaches you that okay, you should go to finish your school, and somebody else comes from another perspective and tells, but that's not how life is. Of course, education is important, but it doesn't have to go in that. So now there's a bit of unlearning there. You have to be able to be and open enough to unlearn that it mustn't be in that sequence.
Hello and good day. This is Erephilo podcast. Some of you have been listening to podcast. Una go listen finish. Una not dey like, una not dey share, una not dey subscribe. Not be so now. We do it. That's how it's supposed to be. Please tell somebody the thing the King of Glory is doing. Meanwhile, continue with the show. This is Erephilo. Hello and good day. I want to welcome you all today to the Erephilo podcast. I have a wonderful somebody here, a wonderful young lady. She has a gift with words. She know how to, they call them a poet. And that she has a way she like to use words. I discovered that someone said, would you like to come and tell us your story? He said, why not? You know, it is a video podcast. I like to tell people, I like to show people here that you the blow guy for the things that the King of Glory is doing. So I want to welcome you. I think your name is Patience. No spoiler. You have to tell us yourself. Patience. I call you Patience. The other name you will tell us yourself. So my young lady, you are welcome. If you don't mind, can you please introduce yourself to the audience today?
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Hi everyone, my name is Patience WordsDiva Agada. So Agada is the name you were trying to pronounce.
Man, I go spoiler, and that's why I did not say. I think if I want to pronounce it, I'll say Agada. I know you have said you say it before, it's not correct. So that's why I say I'm going to say it yourself. Agada is people that have bow leg, people that have that what they call Agada. I know that's not that I'm training in the Benin way. Benin way is Agada. You're welcome.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much. Tell her, I know I see you do poetry, you do spoken word, and you do all those things. Tell us your story before we start anything. I would like to ask about, if you don't mind, tell us about your family, your father, your mother. Because I always believe some people like you, there must be somebody that had a positive influence in them. It's likely a father or somebody like that. So tell us your story if you don't mind, as much as you like to share. No, in a public forum with this. Go ahead, listen. Go.
Okay, so I don't think there's anyone in my family that was into spoken word poetry before me. I wouldn't say there was any influence from home. I was just a young avid reader from a family of three. I'm the last of my sisters, and I just have that interest in book reading from a very young age. I love to read. My sister was a reader, and ever since I've been reading books, even way older than my age. And eventually, when I got into school, secondary school to be precise, I was in the art class. I was so engrossed in the subject literature in English, and that is where this whole love for arts, poetry writing came into being. It came as a result of an invite my school got to participate in the International Day for the Girl Child competition, and we're given a theme to write, and everybody was asked to write. So my poem was selected alongside another person's to represent the school. So writing came naturally to me. I was just, in fact, I started writing essays, articles. I wasn't so much into poetry before now. It was on that day, I think it was on the 5th, no, 11th of October, some years back, I think 2013, 2014, thereabout, that I discovered that poetry can actually be performed, and it's called spoken word poetry. Because what I knew from literature was poetry as a genre what was taught in the books. But then I got to see that poetry could performed, and I saw other people doing it, and I was also doing it. And from then, it's been going on fantastically. So that's how I came in contact with poetry or spoken word poetry.
Yeah, yeah. You know why I'm smiling? This thing you are saying. So I've found that every people that write like this, that do these creative things, they always have a catalyst. It is always someone that on the switch they put that the fuel is always there. Someone is the one that got to put the fire and you just start. And they're always a lover of words, a lover of books. Yeah, that's why I was smiling when we were saying it. I'm an old man now, and if you know the scrap. But I remember when I was a younger man growing up, when I was a 60-year-old boy, very young, I'm very young, handsome, up in now I do. And it's a friend of mine that told me, say, I talk to the God spoken word. That's how I came to know what it is. If I don't know, he's a friend of mine. His name is a pastor. His name is Pastor Shinedu. That's why I was smiling when you said it. But my own case, my father used to do it too. When he was a younger man. So anyway, that's a good one. That's a good one. So you're a lover of what? And I think you are doing it now more like on a professional setting, not be so.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, correct. Oh, well, come miss her now. Well, a human means to be old. Yes, sir. It's very amazing. I was not telling my wife today, say, baby, I know the old. Oh. She said, yes, you are not man. I said, why did you feel like an 18-year-old boy? What I call the old like this? Yeah, but as I did, good job. So you grew up in that area, started doing spoken word. And I see you on Facebook. I think we'll put some of your links on your things you are doing on the show. You are there, you're very, very energetical. But so I also noticed I think you're a Christian girl, not so.
Yes, I am Christian.
Exactly. I noticed you. So, if you mind to tell us that experience, how would they enter, or whether they born you from the womb inside Jesus, or when you come grow small, you go enter Jesus. Some people enter from Bele, some people enter from outside Bele. So, how did you become a believer girl?
Okay, I was born into a Christian home. My family is actually Catholic, so we're not just we're not just Christians. We're Catholic Christians, if that even makes sense. And I grew up in the faith.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I grew up in the faith. From if anybody who attends Catholic Church knows how it is in the Catholic Church, that you get to be taught from the catechism classes about your faith, about Jesus, about the Holy Trinity, and every other doctrine and practices of the Catholic Church. So I was groomed in that way, and I grew up in that manner. I also attended a Christian school ministry. My secondary school was among the Christian school ministry. It was called Bishop's College, Jos. Yeah, I had to mention that I live in Jos, Plateau State, Nigeria, to be precise. And in the school, we get to do what they call fellowship, and then we also have every week we have a fellowship, a Christian fellowship, and then we also have proprietors fellowship, which is once in every term before we write our exams, because the owner, the proprietor of our school, is actually a pastor, Reverend S.O. Academy. So we get to have fellowship with him. So we get to learn the words in school as on the CRS, the Word of God, and we also get to learn from the pastor and other preachers within the school because it's a Christian school ministry. So I got to learn about Jesus beyond what I know from the Catholic Church and from different perspectives too and different doctrines. But personally, I believe that Christianity is beyond just religious activities and church attendance and whatnot. It is about you having a personal relationship with God. And I've come to have such personal relationship with God in my own way. And I'm cautious of the things that I do, the life that I live, and knowing that my life should reflect God. So that's how it's been going for me. That's how I've come to know God. And also I believe that as Christians our life should reflect God. But this one of among the many hymns that I like, there's this hymn that says, do others see Jesus in you? So yes, I also use the opportunity to preach God in the thing that I do, which is spoken word poetry. I believe that everything was made to glorify God, the earth, the Lord, and his fullness thereof. So I use the opportunity to talk to people about Jesus through the things that I do. And I believe that talking to people about Jesus is not only about saying, mentioning Jesus. When people hear that you talk about Jesus, they want to just hear that, okay, probably you say Jesus, Jesus. You can talk to people, get to listen to them, get to reach out to them through the things that you do without even mentioning Jesus, but they really know that you're talking about Jesus. So that's the beauty that poetry or spoken word presents you with.
True, true, true. So that means now the two way now you take know God. You know from inside Bele, Catholic Church, the beginning of the born and they born and be Catholic. Then you now add the one for outside Bele, you now make your own decision. I also noticed that that's one thing I want to listen to your spoken word presentation. There's always a faith tinge in it. There's one I like very much. The one you said, my name is Patience Agada. Zoe started there. I said, that's the one I listen. I said, yes. Omona means young lady. Don't worry. So I will always put small meaning in everything I say. Now, no, I'm an old man. I want to listen to I said, oh, yes, yes, this young lady, I need to speak to her. I like the teaching to it. These are the kind of people I like to talk to. Fantastic, fantastic. Yeah, I think faith is important in all these things. Because if we don't have the foundation now, allow.
True.
Because now this thing you are doing now is like a talent God Almighty give you. The day one we will meet him on the final day, now you go out and say, hey, patience. But the thing I give you, what did you use it to do? So you are preparing yourself for the final interview. You don't want to say, I talk, I do spoken word. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. So well, as you are doing this thing you are doing, so I know I see you are doing well so far, but I know you have some dreams. What do you in this your spoken word journey? If I were to ask you now, say, patience, based on what you see, what you are thinking, for you I call your name patience. I know you said it's patience, but I call it patience. Egg will as a Benin man way. Let's say, how do you see yourself? Well, years from now, what give you a time frame? What do you see? What do you think is the future of the spoken word that we are doing?
All right, so where I see myself in many years from now, this one that a lot of people get to ask. I wouldn't say I haven't thought about it or I haven't had this question before. Well, I like to take it one day at a time, in as much as we get to plan, yeah. But I see myself getting better at what I do, because if I say I see myself teaching people to be able to use their gift and talent as I've been able to reach out to lives and touch lives, and at the same time to go to different places to talk to people using poetry to give solace to broken hearts and to give hope to those who are in despair. These are the things I'm already doing. I once upon a time it was my dream to have an art academy where I can teach people art, people with talent, people that have the desire and the passion to be able to use words to create a change within their society, to touch lives and all. But I'm already doing that. I do a monthly class, free poetry writing and performance class, that I take young persons, mostly young people, and I teach them how to use the talent that they have been given and the passion, the desire that they have to use words to bless people, to change narrative, to touch people, to change the world one platform at a time. Even though the idea of how I want the academy is not there yet, but it's a gradual process. It is growing. I envision it as a physical building, not just online. A physical building that is well registered, that has every will I say well fixed out like administrative units that can do certain things for this person. I don't want a situation where a talent has to be the one to be looking for platforms, or just be involved in the creative process. That's your work as a talented person. Every other thing that you need, anything that has to be platform or reaching out to people or changing, it should be that the academy is in charge of that. And that's my dream. And I believe this is something I can even do into my old age. I've always loved to teach poetry, to teach performance poetry. I believe I can do that even to my old days. And because I believe that the most lasting legacy one can leave is investment in the lives of people. I grew up in Jos where there are a lot of creative, a lot of talent, and I see how they struggle. I struggle too. I can see their struggle, I can feel their pains. And sometimes I just wish if only these guys have the platform that they need, if they have the resources, if they have all the management, if they have the guidance that they need, their lives will be much better and the society stand a greater chance of benefiting from them more. And they'll not be swayed into any of these societal ills. They'll not be easily influenced by peer pressure or any negative lifestyle or activities. So this is it. In order to help the people around me, I look forward to having this academy that I've already started online, to having a physical outfit so that I can help people in my own little way and at the same time help people to help themselves and their community. Yeah. So I start my personal life of having a
I
family,
like it.
raising a home.
I love it. Yeah, yeah. I like it. I like it. I like it. What you are describing so is not just the thing that grooms the young upcoming talent. It's not only the thing that takes them out there. Like you said, the people that have the gifting, the capacity to do wonderful things, but they just go away in the obscurity because no one bring them out to expose them to get them to. There's a particular man. I'll just give you a quick example. I will listen to him give a wonderful rendition. Just a random Facebook video. I have been looking for this man now for the past how many months. What a year. I can't find him. Nobody knows where he is. He's a Benin.
Hmm.
He has a gift. He can tell old ancient stories in a fantastic way. I have been looking for it. It's the remaining thing to go and put his face on national TV saying, I'm looking for you. But if I do that one now, as it is. But that's the man with the gift that I am here. I'm looking for this man desperately. Say, and you, I want to platform you because I saw what he was doing.
Hmm.
He's like an older version of me, the original gangster, not the one playing so. And he was so deep, and so yeah, that's a great vision. And you see this thing, it's a small seed you are looking at. Those kind of things do not come from outside; they come from above.
Yeah.
And like a play, the way we bring the connection to you. What is somebody that will just go and say, come, a young lady, Lareo, come, take this money, go and set up your art academy. It will be like a film they did. That's how it is. Yeah, yeah. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Thank you.
That's a good future. You go and husband go and pick it joy. It's a lot of work because once the husband join, husband is a full-time job. You see, with Mugia, husband is a full-time job. It's 24 hours employment. You will see. And that's the only one thing I know. Once husband enter matter, is the guy in the pay. But we men we are very demanding. If you marry a mini man or four, that's the worst. That's the worst. We like to be taken care of. Yeah. Yeah. By the way, there's something you said, Joss. I like that place. Oh. I did when I was a young boy, when I was a farmer, I did my NYC in near Joshua. We don't know. I stayed there for a few days. Beautiful. When you are driving from Abuja, you don't see the hill rising to the heavens. That is the America of Nigeria. You know that. You know that, right? You know just is the America of Nigeria. Everything just freeze. Eh? Oh, one more deal. You should go back. But come back. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Sorry, the network has been quite
No,
faulty.
I know that network not trying to be. I was trying to tell you that Joss. I said Joss is the America. Sorry, break it transmission or resume transmission. Pause play, pause. We just start back again. I was trying to tell you that Joss is the America of Nigeria. You know, it's a very beautiful
Yeah.
place. I did my NYC. I was there.
Wow.
If not for Wala, if it's a good place to retire as an old man. It's one of the most beautiful
Mm.
places in Nigeria. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, so that's a good one. That's a good one. That future plan you are talking about spoke about the set up academy. No, so for the what? Go ahead. You're going to say something? No, I interrupted. No
No,
verse.
no, no,
Erephilo,
no,
go
it's
ahead. They
fine. It's
talk.
fine.
Go
Please
ahead.
go ahead.
No, no, no. Now you supposed to. Now you me call interview. You always say my own. Now only play button. My case said it not get boss. How to remove the plug, make it day off. Yeah. So I was going to ask you another very very simple question.
Okay.
If you were to meet a younger version of yourself now, say you go back 10 years now, and you see you say, what will you tell that young person? If you meet, I think you are doing NYSC, not be so.
Yes.
You are not NYSC. So if you were to meet a younger version of you, you say, come, 10 years patience, fine. Maybe 5, 8 years ago. What will you tell that young person with the dream and vision that they have? And what advice would you give to them?
Hello?
Would you hear the question?
Yeah, I had the question.
I say, who
If I
hear me?
meet a younger version of myself, what would I tell that person,
I
right?
guess we're not get that one.
All
Yeah,
right. So if I meet a
yeah.
younger version of myself, I would tell that person to trust the process. You have to prepare. Opportunities do come in life, but you have to prepare for them. And one of the things I would tell the person is to prepare better than I did. And the things that I did not know before now, to learn certain skills, to upskill earlier. Those are the things I think, yeah, the person needs to know. And to just be focused. Yeah, just keep doing what you're doing. Get better at that thing that you love doing. And be open to learning, be open to relearn, be open to unlearn. The most difficult of these three is not learning, it's not relearning, it's unlearning. They say that no knowledge is wasted, but there are some knowledge that you need to unlearn in order to grow. And that's the most difficult. Just like saying, I taught you how ABCD should be said, and somebody is coming to teach you how it is said somehow, just because it's not the perspective that you know, it becomes a bit of a conflict. And that is how life is. Probably the school system, or the way the school system is in Nigeria, it teaches you that, okay, you should go to school, finish your school, and get a job. And somebody else comes from another perspective and tells, but that's not how life should be. Of course, education is important, but it doesn't have to go in that sequence. So now there's a bit of unlearning there. You have to be able to be humble and open enough to unlearn that it mustn't be in that sequence. And that was something I was not privileged to know. I just knew the normal system: grow up, go to school, become something, and get a job. But that's not how it happens. You can get experience while you're working. You can try out things, get skills, even outside your area of discourse while you're still schooling. Yeah, and that is what matters. So you need to get upskill yourself, learn to be dynamic, learn to diversify, be open-minded, learn to learn, unlearn, and relearn. Learning never ends. The day you stop learning is the day you start dying. And as we grow, even as we grow, we keep learning new things because information is hopelessly ephemeral. Things keep changing. And even us, our bodies also change from the day we were born to the very day we die. There's always change in the human body. So why can't you change? Why can't you change for better? Why can't you adapt? These are the things that I needed, or my younger self, we need to know these things. And should not be afraid of these changes as they come.
That one, that's a deep one. That's a deep one. I don't have any callback for that one. That's a deep one. That's a very deep one. Yeah, that's a deep one. I don't even know what to say. Me and the less of it, but how can I know the one like me come and change now? You know, the one like us, we are set in our way. We are not play without they go. But that's a good one. A man should learn to learn. A man should learn. Not be learn. A man should learn or learn. Yes, that's a good one. Well, young lady, I want to thank you for your time,
Thank you, sir.
because I know it was not easy to get you because of the area. If you know the find food to the go, so it was conflicting. It was the whole schedule was not clear,
Yeah,
but somehow the King of Glory has made a way
true.
for us to talk today. I want to encourage you to keep up the good
Thank you,
work.
sir.
And so people like you, I like to see what the king is doing in your life. You tell people and then the young lady come pictures Agada. And they're doing something wonderful. Okay, Agada. Agada.
It's Agada.
What does Agada, Agada mean?
So the way the name is,
What does it mean?
according to my dad, it means powerful. When you pronounce the name somehow, it means another thing. So it's Agada.
Uh, no, will. Agada, even the Benin one, they speak, I know they speak the Benin well, unfortunately. So I'm mixture. We mix that together.
Okay.
Yeah. So what tribe? What tribe is that? Is the tribe people are two? What tribe is that?
Pardon?
What's your tribe?
Okay, my name is Patience.
What's your
Okay,
tribe?
so let me introduce myself properly. My name is Patience. WordsDiva Agada. I am Idoma from Benue State. So I'm Idoma by tribe, and I'm from Benue State, but I was born and raised in Plateau
Yeah.
State, Nigeria.
We'll never go Benue. Have you gone to my? Have you gone to Makodi?
I've been to Makurdi, I've been to Benue State, I've been to Otukore, I've been to Orokam, where I'm from.
Yeah, yeah. I've been to Makodi. Yes, been to Makodi. I've been to Akwanga. I don't work
I've
as
been to,
small. Erephilo, I don't scrap. Yeah.
pardon?
What do we say, my dear? This thing, I go knock this. You were saying something. This computer, they die on it. You were saying something. What?
Okay, you were asking me if I'm Idoma, where I'm from, and I was like, I'm Idoma from Benue State. So I was born and raised in Plateau State, Nigeria.
Excellent, excellent. Well, I want to thank you again for your time
Thank you
with you.
too.
It has been a refreshing conversation. I don't even know what to go to church now. But I'd like to give you the last word. Though. Now that you go that talk last, then we off the mic.
Okay.
If you have any last word, any last thing we would like to share, because we don't know where this thing one can go. Not they know where God the carry person in the back where all this microphone and camera talk. So if you
All
have
right.
any
So
final word, a last word, please feel free to share it before we off mic.
my last words to every creative out there, whether you're a spoken word poet or writer, whatever it is that you find yourself doing, whatever that God has placed in your hands to do, always remember your source. I always tell my students, always remember your source. Always remember why you do what you do. Always remember what God has called you to do, your purpose. It's important because the going, the process gets tougher, it gets challenging, and it is only knowing your purpose, knowing who your source is, that it will keep you going. And that is why I keep saying that my name is Patience Agada, and the grace of God is what I gather, because it's been God has been keeping me. And when the self-doubt, the insecurity, the pressure comes from left, right, the challenges, the need for resources and all of those things, it's just God that will keep you on that track, making you to remember that if he has called you out here for a reason, then he should make provision for everything. He's also aware. And I always say nothing takes God by surprise. He is the surprise. So always remember your source, remember why God has called you and what he has called you to do. So at any time, fall back to Him. And don't forget that nothing can take God by surprise. He is the surprise.
Wow. That's all. I don't even know how to say anything. This young lady I said it all. I want to thank you for your time. King of glory bless you very much.
Amen.
All of you are there, this Erephilo, and I want to copy. This is a young lady. But when I check her work out, she's on Facebook, she's on TikTok, she's on YouTube, she's on Instagram, it's Patience Agada. Agada, Patience. Is it
Yes.
also one word diva? A word
Yes.
diva. WORDSDIVA. You God let your soul be sweet by so nice reading my rhyme. Area no. Will make you to download. The if not there one copy. The patience will take it easy. Me and you will talk later offline. I think I want to share something with you.
All right.
You be a good girl.
All right.
Bye.
Thank you, sir. Bye. All right.
Bye. So I want a new setup at the user. Don't be your fan.